Donald Trump is known to say a lot of really horrible things, but some of the most horrible things we've heard him say are when he's behind closed doors, not realizing he's been recorded. Because today, 2 new leaked audio clips of Trump talking have been released. And in these, he says some pretty horrible things. Now, it's interesting that we already have 2 new leaked audio clips because just less than 2 weeks ago, we had another clip of Trump admitting that he knew that he lost the election.
What was for all the like?
He was good. He did a good job.
Yeah.
He was smart, cunning. He did a good job.
And are you guys still close, or you don't want?
No, I don't think so. He is. After I lost the election, I won the election, but when they said what it was, he called me up 3 or 4 times. I didn't take his call because I was so busy fighting it, you know, with what went on. And we've caught him. I don't know if you see it, but you will. But he called me up 3 or 4 times. And finally I had a little time. I called him back. And he went on Fox and he started talking about the president called me. I didn't call him. I returned his phone call. And he started talking very personally about how I was feeling, how I was doing. And I said, that's really a betrayal. I didn't talk about how I was feeling. It was a phone call that lasted very quickly. Just, hey, how you doing, Geraldo? How's it going? It's not my deal. He's not my psychiatrist.
Right.
But he made it sound like it was such a big deal. It was a nothing. All I did was return his call. But he said, the president called me, like I'm reaching out to him. Yeah. And I haven't spoken to him since.
So between that and these 2 new audio clips released today, it really seems like there's something going on behind the scenes where there's a lot of new leaked audio clips. Now, the first audio clip is Trump talking about his New York civil trial that wrapped up earlier this year. In this, he's heard insulting the judge and claiming that he won everything, which he did not. So let's take a look at this.
And in the middle of our conversation, Donald Trump received a phone call where he asked for a directed verdict and then tried to offer his own analysis of what was happening in New York while he was in Florida.
Okay, let's listen.
Let me give it a shot, okay? All right. So they just finished up the trial. We won everything. We have a judge who just doesn't want to let it go. He's crazy. I don't know if you're liberal or not, but this guy is a radical left
lunatic.
Yeah,
he's very liberal, and he's not a supporter of yours.
He's a political hack.
Yeah.
He's a real hack. When you look at him, he should have never had the case in the first place. He got it. A very dangerous system. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like very dangerous. The good news is we're killing him. He's getting horrible publicity.
Yeah, I saw that.
Horrible. This thing with his weightlifting and shit, he's crazy. He's a lunatic. Yeah. And he doesn't want to let it go.
Now, it's funny how he's claiming that he won everything, but the only thing he really won was a lot of debt. But regardless, the things that he was saying about the judge were just really horrible. But to be honest, those are the exact same things that he calls everyone else who he deems wronged him. So overall, there's nothing really like super surprising in that one, but it's this next clip that is really getting people going online because he is exposing his whole thought process on how to basically like win elections and win over people. Take a look.
So if I went back to NBC right now to do something, they would do anything I wanted to do. Show business I'm talking about. Doing a show, anything I wanted to do right now. 100%. Because one thing I know about that business, and I learned that business better than anybody else can learn a business in a short period of time, it's all about one thing, ratings. If you have ratings, you can be the meanest, most horrible human being in the world. There's only one thing that matters, ratings. You can be nice or you can be mean. You can be evil, you can be horrible, you can be crude or elegant. There's only one thing that matters, and that's ratings. If you don't have ratings, it doesn't matter.
Ratings. It's all about the ratings. Trump is admitting here that ratings are everything, which is pretty much why he does all of the horrible and cruel things that he does, because it gets him a lot of ratings. And like we heard in the clip, it doesn't matter if he's good or evil. All that matters is just the volume of clicks that he gets. You know the saying, no publicity is bad publicity? Well, Trump is a walking example of this. Despite all of the horrible things he says and does, he's still the frontrunner of the Republican Party. And if they're the ones who are putting him up in front, it really goes to show you who the Republican Party is, that they would want to support this man. But I feel like this also exposes another side of this industry, and that is the news. Because just last week during the debate, CNN was under fire for not fact-checking Trump at all. And this got me thinking, why would they do this? Why would they choose to not fact-check Trump during the debate? And that's because they realized that not fact-checking him would bring in more views and more ratings. Because let's say they did fact-check him. They'd make the left happy, but the right probably just wouldn't even watch the debate because they'd say, oh, it's CNN, they're so biased and blah, blah, blah. So they're like, well, why would we want to cut off half of the people who would be watching the debate just because they don't like how we're moderating it? So they figured instead of losing half of their viewership during the debate night itself and just making half of their viewership angry instead, they figured that would be better because it's all ratings that matter. All that matters is the view count on that live stream. They were really only thinking about the money involved. They weren't thinking about how this would impact the American public, but instead how it would impact their own wallets. And even though the debate was really devastating for the Democrats and really fact-checking would have solved a lot of the problems, they were just like, nope, we don't care. We're getting paid more just by doing this. So it really shows you that while Trump is very horrible, and I don't want to understate that, Trump is a horrible person, but the major news outlets also don't have our best interest in mind. They are doing what they do for the money. So really, if you ask me, they're two sides of the same coin.